Thanks to our sponsor, Lawrence Auto Repair, at 1309 U.S. Highway 2 in Kalispell. Most consistently rated 5-star shop serving the Kalispell area. Visit lawrenceauto.com.
Will take care of you. The highest rated in the Kalispell area. Lawrence Auto Repair. Service with integrity of the highest quality. lawrenceauto.com.
Hello and welcome to News Now. I'm your host, Taylor Inman. We're going over the biggest headlines this week for Northwest Montana. In an unprecedented decision, state officials have placed fishing restrictions on the North Fork Flathead River due to record water temperatures and dropping flows. The Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks hoot owl restrictions went into effect on Wednesday and prohibit fishing from 2 p.m. to midnight each day. The restriction will stay in effect until conditions improve. Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks says it received approval from the Montana Fish and Wildlife Commission and collaborated with Glacier National Park on the restriction, which will extend the full length and both sides of the North Fork from the U.S.-Canadian border to the confluence with the Middle Fork Flathead River near Blankenship Bridge. Fishing restrictions are designed to protect fish that become more susceptible to disease and mortality when conditions, such as low flows and high water temperatures, combine with other stressors, including catch-and-release fishing. Biologists have been closely monitoring water temperatures of local rivers and streams amid a summer heat wave in northwest Montana. Water temperatures in the North Fork have been near or above daily records since early July. Elevated water temperatures negatively impact the health and survival of native West Slope cutthroat trout and bull trout. It is common for the state to implement hoot owl fishing restrictions in sections of rivers across the state every summer. However, the state has never implemented hoot owl restrictions in the Flathead drainage until now. The statewide fisheries management plan identifies different temperature criteria for different species of native trout. The temperature criterion for West Slope cutthroat trout is met when water temperatures reach or exceed 66 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 consecutive days. The criterion for bull trout is 60 degrees, also for 3 consecutive days. The new Bigfork Library is poised to welcome patrons when it opens, following a ribbon-cutting ceremony on August 6 at 9:30 a.m. The Flathead County Library branch, located at 186 Bridge Street, has been years in the making. The Imagine If Library Foundation purchased the Bethany Lutheran Ark Building for $475,000 in 2018, and it will eventually be transferred to the county upon completion. The Library Foundation has been raising funds for the renovation of the Bigfork Library. It has raised about $2.9 million of its $3.2 million goal, according to the foundation's website. The foundation also continues to raise funds for books for the library. The public is invited to attend the ceremony hosted by the Bigfork Area Chamber of Commerce. Library staff, members of the Library Foundation, and the Bigfork Capital Campaign Committee will speak at the event to commemorate the years of work and collaboration it has taken to make the project happen. The new library has 6 times the space of the previous location, located inside the Bigfork Art and Cultural Center building. It will house $70,000 worth of new books, CDs, movies, and other materials. It includes a children's section, a teen zone, a makerspace, and a community meeting room, along with more space to offer events and programming. For more information, visit imagineiflibraries.org. 3 ballot initiatives, 2 that could change the way candidates are selected in primary elections, as well as 1 to enshrine reproductive rights in the Montana Constitution, have crossed an initial threshold, signaling that all 3 measures will likely be before voters in the 2024 general election in November. Montanans for Election Reform and Montanans Securing Reproductive Rights both announced on Friday that Montana Secretary of State Christy Jacobson's official website showed that both groups had collected enough signatures to meet the legal threshold to go before voters. Montanans for Election Reform proposed and qualified 2 measures, Constitutional Initiatives 126 and 127, and Montanans Securing Reproductive Rights secured Constitutional Initiative 128. Montanans Securing Reproductive Rights said it had surpassed the minimum number of signatures needed. It needed 60,359 signatures total, and that included a 10% of voters in 51 House districts. MSRR said by 4 p.m. on Friday, CI 128 had just over 74,000 verified signatures, according to the Secretary of State's website. Meanwhile, Montanans for Election Reform had surpassed the total signature threshold, as well as meeting the number of signatures in legislative districts. The news comes after a busy week in which Lewis and Clark District Court Judge Mike Minahan said the Secretary of State should not be tossing out signatures from inactive voters. In his ruling, he said that an attorney for Jacobson had suddenly and without notice determined that inactive voters, usually those who have changed their addresses since voting, should not be counted. Minahan issued a temporary restraining order, stopping Jacobson from acting on that interpretation, and ordered any signatures that had been rejected because of inactive voters to be restored. Inactive voters can become active voters simply by showing up to vote, according to court testimony, and they are considered registered voters. Jacobson's office filed an emergency appeal to the Montana Supreme Court on Thursday, asking the state's highest court for a writ of supervisory control, which would take the case out of Minahan's hands and allow the Supreme Court to decide the measure. The Montana Supreme Court has not made a determination on that appeal. For now, Minahan's order remains in effect, and it requires the counties to continue verifying the signatures. During the weekend, the Montana Secretary of State's office said it will fix the software it changed to invalidate inactive signatures. CI 126 and CI 127 deal with a new top 4 model for political candidates and require a successful candidate for office to win with a majority, not a plurality. CI 128 protects the right to abortion in Montana, even though court decisions have affirmed the right to it via the state's right to privacy. It would also prohibit the government from interfering with the right to travel for medical services, as well as protect medical professionals from government interference. It would protect abortion up until the point of fetal viability. The 3 issues that have qualified for the ballot are all opposed by the Montana Republican Party. Jacobson is a Republican running for re-election herself. Thanks for joining us. News Now is a podcast from the Daily Interlake. We're proud to be the largest independent newsroom in Montana and the oldest paper in the Valley. Consider becoming a subscriber to support our work. Call Circulation at 406-755-7018 or go to the subscribe tab in the top right corner of our website. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode of the pod. Everybody stay safe and have a great week. Thanks to our sponsor, Lauren's Auto Repair at 1309 U.S. Highway 2 in Kalispell. Most consistently rated 5-star shop serving the Kalispell area. Visit lawrensauto.com.
We'll take care of you.